Welcome back to Eyes Wide, the podcast. I'm your host, Craig, and tonight's episode is going to be a little bit different than anything we've ever done before. There's not going to be a lot of ties in to business and sales. I just want to reflect on life, and in the spirit of what this past week was, I think it's important every now and again to really focus on the important things in this life and making sure that we are holding true to what is really the most valuable things that we can offer to ourselves and others. That song I opened with, it's a song that's been with me for years. It's helped me get into moods and also out of them. Helps me to kind of just reflect. Anytime I can hear the vocals of the late great Chester, it's kind of just makes everything better. So as I said, I kind of want to do this one differently, a little bit differently than I've done with others in the past. And if you're interested and you want to continue to listen, please feel free to listen. If you don't, I fully understand. There's a lot of things you could be listening to right now. Again, in the spirit of everything this past week just was, do what you love. This life is not forever. And so don't waste time doing the things you don't want to do. If you think I don't have anything all that compelling and interesting to listen to, then please do not listen. Don't waste your time, because time is extraordinarily fleeting, and the moments that we all have here and alive are fleeting and valuable and should be cherished. I'm going to go on and talk a little bit, 20 minutes or so. But again, I just didn't want to have the calendar turn away from this week without reflecting on it and the importance of it and the significance of what I believe has come out of it. But everyone listening knows what happened on September 10th. And as much as I'd love to have the visual of what truly did take place on that day taken out of my head, I don't believe it's ever going to. We've all seen pieced together video of the John F. Kennedy assassination, and we watch and rewatch and rewatch. We look at different angles, and you can see that with the camera frames, you can visualize what happened. But you had to use some of your imagination. Not for this one. There was no imagination necessary. You and everyone else got to see vividly a man who has dedicated his life to God, country, and family, have his life taken from him and was sent off of this earth, and sent on to, I know what he believed is definitely that he is now in heaven. People have different beliefs. That's not what this is about. I don't really care what you believe, what I believe. Who cares? Faith is faith for each individual. It's what wakes you up in the morning. It's what allows you to sleep at night peacefully. It's why you strive for greatness. It's why you love your family. It's why you want to do good things. It's why you it's why you do what you do. So your faith is yours. Don't let anyone ever take that from you. It's special. It's all yours. Charlie Kirk was someone that believed heavily in Jesus Christ as Savior, and he was not shy about it, and he was a student of it, knew more about the Bible than I imagine many pastors do. So it's just remarkable to watch him. So for me, again, this isn't about religion. That's not the point of this. But I will tell you what, anytime you see someone that inspired in their beliefs, in their convictions, it's very compelling. And it makes you take notice of an individual that is that devoted to a belief, to a faith. I said I wasn't going to get into business and sales, but life is sales. You can't get away from that, but it's just trying to convey to others, people that are in business, in sales, how important it is for people to feel your beliefs, feel your convictions, Because in the end, when you talk about Charlie Kirk, it was about his influence. It was about his ability to shape the hearts and minds of those he was speaking to, those he was debating. But that doesn't happen if you're lukewarm. That doesn't happen if you're just dipping your toes into the pool. That is an all-in accomplishment. That is, someone is taking notice of the fact that there is no ifs, ands, or buts about the fact that you have laser focused in this belief, and people, they want to know what you know. They want to see why you believe the way you do. And that is why he was so effective. And it's also how you can be more effective in whatever it is you're doing. But again, moving on, the nature of this conversation, what do you do? What do you do with days, experiences like this? I would imagine most of you listening had a pretty dark day on the 10th. And then the 10th rolls right into the 11th. And any of you that have ties to New York, or I don't even know if that matters at this point, but I, for one, I grew up in New York. And so the thought of September 11th and the World Trade Center towers falling and watching what transpired on that day. I mean, you talk about 48 hours of just brutalness. And so my soul was definitely in need of something come Thursday evening, Thursday afternoon. And I am fortunate enough to be on a text, whatever, a texting, not thread, but I get texted when there's special events through the church, through a church out here called Oceans Church. And they decided to do a last minute event. And the theme of the event was Revival of America. And this was a last minute thing. They put this together. They sent out the invites, or just said that they were going to be holding this special session. And they decided to have it. They've got, I don't know how many they have, but they got 2 buildings that I know of, a bigger one that's up in Lake Forest, and then a small one down in San Juan Capistrano. And they decided just to have it at the small one because it's last minute. They didn't think anyone was really going to show up. And we got there, and my goodness gracious, there was a lot of people in Orange County thirsting for the exact same thing, in need of some inspiration, in need of some revitalizing. And that place was packed. Standing room only. You could not get in. People were in there with families. There were young couples. There were older couples. It was just such a cross section of individuals going through different stages of hurt and grief and misunderstanding. And it was a powerful scene. Not only was the pastor, Mark Francie, just lighting it up. He and his wife were just completely on fire, speaking to the youth, talking about how important this movement is for our youth, and that they carry the torch and the picking up the mantle that was left. It was very inspiring. And then the music was just extraordinary. And it was just looking around the room as this was going on. It was a very incredibly moving experience. I'm so happy I went. I don't always agree with everything that's going on, and I'm far from the most religious person you'll ever meet. But I'd be lying if I didn't say that it was exactly what my thirsting soul needed on that day. Just to feel a safety and I just needed to feel whole on that day. And so that was exactly what was required. And it just hit on so many different levels. And out of this turmoil, this grief, I mean, even as I'm doing this right now, recording this, all I can think about is Charlie Kirk's wife. That's all I can think about. If I'm not thinking about the actual assassination and that visualization, I'm just thinking of the bloodshot, sad, fierce, bright blue eyes of his widowed wife looking into the camera and just chillingly talking about how she was going to carry on the torch of what Charlie created, that it would not die and it was going to be bigger than ever. And I'm just like, oh my goodness, how can you possibly be this emphatic and dedicated and just ambitious in this time? And it was remarkable to see. And then I don't know if you guys have seen, I'm sure you have, but the other images of her talking to Charlie while he's in the coffin, it's all just too much. I'm just praying so much for his family and her and the people that have been touched by him. I've also been listening to a lot of the pundits in the last few days. And for the most part, I haven't been all that shocked with what I've heard. Those that are disappointing, I continue to be disappointed by, but I wasn't exactly surprised or shocked. But there are a few out there that, man, has this experience really lit them up? They are approaching this with their eyes rather wide, a lot wider than they've been in past days and past years, and it has been very captivating, and it has been extraordinary to see how this has triggered some people to really wake up and have a different approach to a lot of these issues and situations. I still just can't believe that a guy, when you talk about a guy that started this whole movement, this turning point, it was his creation. Started it. Said, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do something extraordinary. And listening to Candace Owens talk about how much time they spent together and all the things that they had to do with their events, it's remarkable to listen to. I really don't have a lot more to say. Truthfully, I doubt that any of you are still listening to this, and that's okay. While this life is short, I want you to remember it is what you make of it. Future you is waiting to meet the current you. Continue to keep the promises you make to yourself and fight like hell to bring your tomorrow into today. Until we meet again, eyes wide, see everything. Goodbye.